I'll be calling you a radical. The nuclear energy frogs have been boiled nicely. Kevin Lynch, March 2011. March 11th, 12th, 2011. There's a nuclear meltdown in Japan. They're lying. They're going to circle the wagons. The half nukers will parade out. And they're going to tell you exactly what I'm telling you in March of 2011, 10, 12 years later. The Fukushima frogs have been boiled nicely. So now think about this. Think about this. CBS today, do you know what today is? 4,574 days later. 12 and a half fucking years. The nuclear energy, Fukushima fallout, Fuktonium skies, a country of lies, a country that denies the downwinders are here. Cancer rates went psycho in 2011. I'll quote my doctor right here. I want to get my blood work done this morning. I like to do them on Sunday mornings. It's not so crowded. LDS State, Finbo, world-renowned oncologist. The outbreak of 2011, Vincent Hansen. The outbreak of 2011, cancer, never seen anything like it. LDS just chuck full. It was the most intense radical that I've seen. Everybody that was in there with me have all passed. I mean, I think it's so incredible, the epic denial that this country went into. Well, it actually blows my mind. And CBS wants to write a story today about worries of radiation on the West Coast 12 and a half years later. What? Kevin Blanche is right there, full of leukemia. What a compelling story. Doing all the historical. I walked the entire coast of California while I'm dying of leukemia. No money. I had about $1 million in the stock market. Just think about it. I had all that Tesla and Apple stock, making people millionaires all over the internet. Sell your silver, sell your gold, all in. Tesla and Apple. When Tesla IPO, right there. I'm dying. 12 years ago right now, just viciously attacked me. Don't treat me like I'm uninsured. Here's my stock portfolio. Sell it. You're going in. I'm going to the Mayo Clinic. No, you're not. You're going to LDS State. Misdiagnosed over and over. AML de novo. Radical. I mean, there are people still telling me how to survive cancer because they saw it on the internet. You know, armchair doctors, it's a freak show out there. Give me dogma or give me death. Or give me both. My doctor, just the other day here, I cannot believe there are not thousands of people flocking around you asking you how you did this. You're the greatest. You're the 1% of the 1%. You're the biggest miracle in my 40-year career. I fight for her. She fights for we. The sea. It's the ecology, stupid. So, only one person, there's 50 million people on any given day in California, driving back and forth up and down the 5 in their shiny coffins. Who does the type of work? The most historic, incredible PhD in human history? A guy from Utah that lives in Utah, in the high desert of Utah, does the tide pool work? Are you kidding me? At historic low tide, some of those tides in the moon cycles we got were some of the closest, lowest tides in literally hundreds, if not thousands of years. I got them all, up and down. Raw footage, uncensored, uncut, the way a good PhD is supposed to do it. You know, told people, have at, chop up. That type was at your feet, Edie. It's a cult. So in science, we don't just rely on how can you test for something you don't even know what it is. This has never happened before. Blake Barrett told you on nearly day 3,000 to Leslie Stahl in 60 Minutes what took Kevin Blanche 1 hour. Blake Barrett to Leslie Stahl on nearly day 3,000. Well, this is like going to the moon fixing this. way bigger than that. This has never happened before. And we're going to go with the water flush tank fallacy. Then, okay, if the water tank fallacy, how did the 18,000 becquerels of cesium-137 in May of 2023 in the harbor, in the fish, before they dumped 180 times over the legal safe limits? Breaking news, ocean currents move left to right. Breaking currents, fish swim. Breaking news, we're the downwinders here in Utah. Going to get my blood works. I was given 2 months to live right there in that room 12 years ago. Whoa. I've been in critical condition the whole time. I had open heart surgery for the second time this year. I spent the winter in that room. I got a pacemaker. Chemo worked. I had a real radical form, but it took out everything else. My gallbladder ruptured. I lost all my teeth. My heart valve lost all my money. Lost all my intimate relationships, really, except for with my grandchildren. You know, I don't know. Such a hardcore, lonely fight. Me and her, the Pacific Ocean out there. I did all that type of work. I says, first, this starfish will go. I'm in critical condition doing that work. Talk about me, oh my. So what did I get for it? And we tracked down who hired them. The Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate hired teams of trolls. Literally dozens of Facebook pages and YouTube sites, 100% committed. Nothing but Kevin Blanch's name on it. Called me every name in the book. Slandered me, attacked me, vicious to where I'd get calls, people threatening me on the phone, to when I'm calling. I mean, I got people trying to fight me in New York City. When I'm on the coast in California, people threatening me, coming up to me. I mean, I remember being in La Jolla and some punk come right up to me, told me he was going to kill me. I'm like, oh yeah? Bust a move, punk. I'm not afraid of you punks. You know, it blows my mind. Might as well be looking for starfish here. And everybody's like, oh, I remember a fireman come up to me at PB and he says, I find some starfish. Yeah, so do I. Under the Crystal Pier, right? Yeah, how'd you know? So everything's okay because you found a couple, okay? Oh, there's still some salmon. A guy called me from Oregon up there who's an activist. You know, my girl that I had, they're catching. Yeah, okay, so what are you talking about? Oh, we caught a couple salmon, so everything's okay. Everything's right. You know, we saw a couple starfish. What are you talking? They're just down 95%, anywhere between 90 and 90. That's unarguable proof now. How about the desal plant in San Diego? Now you think about that. I'm the only one that protested there. I protested there fiercely, Lori and I. I went to them. I went to the hearings. What do you... I remember asking them point blank, are you freaking filtering for tritium? Point blank, what's that? You have plutonium, you know, cesium-137. Remember, we've had tuna. I was in PB in the summer of 2011. Remember, they were showing up with cesium-137 in the tuna in San Diego in 2011. And then they went into cover-up mode. I'm like, okay, I'll do the tide pool work. You know, Steve at the Monterey Aquarium used to argue with me. He apologized to me. The Monterey Aquarium, I remember being there, walking, you know, and I get there. The two old biologists waiting for me. Oh, Kevin, we've been waiting for you. We want to talk to you. The ex-dean. Two, they're married. One was a dean of marine biology, I believe, at UCLA, and one was at, I believe, at Stanford. Married. Kevin, we've been following your work. You're all over this. Take our little rowboat. We live here in Pacific Grove. We're out there. The Grays are giving birth in Monterey Bay. I'm like, oh, God, no. Oh, no. You sure? But yeah, we're positive. We're, you know. They're starving to death, aren't they? They can't make it to Mexico. They're having to stop early. You know, I predicted the whale collapse. I predicted the sardine collapse. I predicted the salmon collapse. We don't count dead tide pools. Oh, Kevin Blanch does. We don't count dead humans in bone marrow transplant. Oh, Kevin Blanch does. I was almost one of them. I don't eat, sleep, drink it. I sleep with it, literally. I have the Audubon disease. So I says, well, okay. We have empirical data on salmon. We count every salmon. From the Kenai all the way down. Rank and file. The Jedediah Smith has no dams. The Kenine, the Fraser, the Mighty Columbia, the Rogue, the Deschutes, Jedediah Smith, no dams. Their numbers all mirror each other. Stillhead salmon. I just got a call from Martin. He says the Deschute right now has 3. Stillhead. I mean, the major runs over. 3? What? Remember, they pulled the fishing in front. They pulled the gill netting in front. These numbers are catastrophes. So we have the hard data. They count them every day. I said, Stillhead will go immediately. They live in the sea 1 to 2 years. What? Stillhead, they're not trying to. I mean, this is how ignorant. These are people that are fishermen. Fishermen who can't fish, skiers who can't ski, surfers who can't surf. Monterey Bay, it's a cliche. California's a cultural theme park. Oh, boy. It's unbelievable. It's your pseudo-de facto sociology, your pseudo-facto theology. Okay, made up. Is it your oh, it's your biology. It's the ecology, stupid. How come nobody's testing? Oh, they are. I've presented the data over and over. They hid it. Do you know about the JSTOR? They hide the data because the Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate, due to Price Anderson, they turned on the spigot at the Manhattan Project. They never turned it off. Free billions and trillions. They've infiltrated. They've had 80 years to infiltrate academia, to infiltrate media. Oh, the same people that own all these nuclear energy reactors that just flow billions and trillions of dollars to them free under the congressional act called the Immunity Act of Price Anderson. Means they don't have to pay it back. You send them money for terra firma little reactors. You send them fucking money for SMRs in Utah. You send them money for, Vogel, the Tower to Babel, Mox Fuel at Savannah River, South Carolina. They just steal it and loot it. And it's legal. Meanwhile, and so they just covered it up. The greatest crime in human history is the cover up of Fukushima. Barack Obama, March 17th, 2011. The plume is coming over us right now. I never found in the Rose Garden. Scientists tell us it's safe. Then why did the emails come out the same time? Hillary Clinton's emails, which I believe they were hummus, actually. I'm the guy that leaked them out. Don't go outside. Take a shower. Play it safe. Wash your clothes if you've been outside at the same time. You tell me Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton weren't on the same page? The buck stops where she was the Secretary of State. And then Barack Obama was flown out of the country to South America. With Jeffrey Immelt, CEO of GE, with his one jet following the other jet. Golden parachute as the stocks crash. They went into cover-up mode. Rahm Emanuel's the ambassador to Japan. He was in the situation. Why are these people covering it? This is the greatest crime in human history. Everybody went along with it. All media, print. So how about all the YouTubers who freaking backed out and said, oh, it's great, it's safe. Talk about criminals. Why? Because they were paid. That's why. I mean, if you had an AdSense account, which they all do, I don't. It's like academia. It's when we were protesting these war profiteers coming into the universities and giving major funding. And I'm like, if you do that, these are state universities. We don't need public funding. They're funded by the state taxpayers. If you start taking oligarchs' money, you're going to bow to the oligarchs' freaking oligarchy agenda, which they did. Make a big endowment at the university, and then they'll do whatever you say. They've had 80 years of, they started the funding of academia really in earnest in the 70s. To the point, all these bootlickers who call themselves scientists, you got the half nukers. Helen said the Japanese are tidy people. They cleaned it up. Okay. 3 full core meltdowns blown up. Arnie Gundershid said it was a hydrogen blast for 7 years. Chris Bubsey says the Pacific Ocean is a big place. Freaking Italy. They traded out one half nuker after another. Ken Buzel wood holes. He faked it. His name's on the KLK study that I leaked out to the internet, and Europe's put it out there. He had no intention of that getting out there. And that was in 2011. 40 kilometers off, 300 meters down into the water column. 1,000 times the background levels of cesium-137, 1,000 times in 2011. They wrote right in theirs. Our conclusion is already into the water column. The radionuclides that are the derivative of the meltdowns of Fukushima. What? So you're trying to tell me the salmon collapse, we counted Chinook salmon, I said won't collapse till 2016, Kevin Blanche. Everybody's arguing with me. I saw it for myself, record returns in 28, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I mean, to the point where the Columbia had nearly 4 million. Do you think it's coincidence the live cam's been out on the Columbia River now for 7 years? I called them all the time, held their feet. I mean, I'll send you a GoPro. In science, we call that an outliner. Kevin Blanche, they'll crash in 2016. Will you believe me then? Yeah, but that ain't going to happen. Oh, did it? Oh, and this is just by volume. Excuse me, number of fish, not by weight, by volume. We're talking a 90 to 95% collapse on all these said rivers. We count them all. So you can run regressionary models. You can run regressionary models on the wells, because we have those numbers now. You can run regression. Noah himself, it took 7 years to put out Kevin Blanche's exact numbers, but I did it in real time. You can run the tide pool freaking regressionary models. You can run the salmon in detail, in heavy detail, because we have data that is counted on the sonar at every single river on the Pacific Ocean. Jet stream moves left, right, and collapse. It's an arguable science now. Kevin Blanche, first you hypothesized the knowledge. I mean, I got an argument with a professor yesterday on the train going down to the England. You know, professor I respect. Well, you know, Farmer K. Brody's work had holes all over it. I says, name one. Name one hole. You're tainted by your religious bias, I told him. Name me one hole. Everything she said has been proven through DNA. Name me one. She had no bias. She did heavy research. She did 7 years of research before she wrote that book. On the boots on the ground. And it's been verified in heavy detail. So I told him you got a bias, and you know, you'll never get rid of that at your age. You know, I respect you, but I don't do opinion. I don't even care about that shit. People's freaking political dogma opinions. I mean, Obama and Trump and Biden all covered up. Oh, I asked Trump from here to there, you going to talk about Fukushima? You going to open the book? Yes. Did he? Did he? Never mentioned it one time. He met with a bee 17 times. A bee, the kingpin of the cover-up, he wasn't prime minister when Fukushima happened. Nato Khan was. Nato Khan comes up to Kevin Blanche in Del Mar, California, and vowed to me. He started to cry. Told me, thank you for all your incredible... I wasn't censored in Japan. If you don't believe me, you go ask Kathy Awani. That's how we got Sen and Humphrey shut down. You know, you go ask Rachel Godoy. Go ask either one of them. You know, both of them paramount in this fight were. So, drink up. It's the only reason I don't live in San Diego right now. The only reason. Water quality. You know, mix all that in with some freaking sewer that constantly spills. I mean, the water quality in the Pacific Ocean in Southern California is horrific. Horrific. And, you know, you don't believe me? You go talk to any water quality person that works there. They'll tell you the exact same thing as me. You know, I've been there my whole life. Mission bay accomplished. So, 8 to 15% of your water in San Diego County is coming from the ocean. Kevin Blanche, what are you filtering for? Can you please tell me? Starfish can't survive in it. Salmon are collapsed. The wells are starving to death. The photoplankton's gone. You know, it's like a clear mountain lake. I used to call it, my class, I used to call it the cloud. I used to call it the cloud. You know, the soup. You know what the ocean smells like. You know what it looks like. What the big California crimson, California orca starfish say to the tiniest upper California purple urchin? Fukushima killed my food. The 60,000 pound humpback whale replies, we too from the sea. What? Well, 60,000 pound whales are plankton feeders? At the platonic level, you broke the chain. You telling me that 3 full core meltdowns push them. Where's the cores? Everybody that's all gung ho on this Fukushima flush content, where's the cores? Tell me where the cores are. China syndrome, I named Del Mar, Argentina syndrome. And if it hasn't been proven that China syndrome is very real, then you're not paying attention. They've sent in robot after robot after robot that has many, many thousands of degrees Fahrenheit. They can't get near it. They've never gotten near it. These cores. They don't even know where they're at. Lake Barrett to Leslie Stahl in 60 minutes and day nearly 3,000. Well, where are these cores? See those holes over there? They're down there somewhere. Where? Well, the Pacific Ocean's right there. The Pacific Ocean is not a bathtub. It's the most dynamic living being on the face of this planet. It is the mother. Hello. And you sit back and watch the nuclear energy crisis and gang the mother. Not me. I fight for her. You know, I had this conversation with my doctor the other day. I fight for her. She fights for we, Kevin D. from the sea. You know, she protected me. I remember I flew all over. I had no money. It completely wiped me out. I had no safety net. Mike Lee kicked me out Medicaid. I had no money. I was starving to death. I went from a millionaire to literally starving to death. I had no food. I had no money. I don't know how to do my house. I would travel, just get a cheap plane flight with what money I could scrape up. I remember Michelle Grant used to send me $75 a month, and Billy from Scotland would send me some Scottish pounds in the mail. So I was basically getting by with $200 or $300 a month. I'm starving to death, literally. I don't have enough money for food. I'd get a cheap plane flight and my sleeping bag, and I'd fly and just pray to God somebody picked me up. And almost always one person would show up out of nowhere and pick me up. And I would sleep on the beach in my sleeping bag, sleep whatever. Some of the places I've slept in the last 12 years, I'm like full of cancer. I'm like, oh. I mean, some of the shit that I've had to go through has been way past scary. But it's been enlightening because I'm out on the ocean. And I've always said, well, how are you doing this? I'm like, she'll protect me. The mighty blue lady. As long as I keep fighting for her, the seals, I would talk to them. You know, I mean, it's just me and them out there. You know, I'm out there. I walked up on a Starfish, a 60,000-pound humpback whale. I mean, what a story. I mean, as she's dying. Holy fuck. It's been heartbreaking. I thought I lost my gold medal last night. I panicked. I was like, oh no. My grandson was right there when I had this massive heart attack. I kept telling him, no, they replaced my aortic valve 6 years ago from the chemo ward out. My heart's a beast. I kept telling him, it's not working. I'm in pain the whole time. I remember being in Monterey, having to walk up that hill from Pacific Grove to try to get some, over-the-counter pain meds. I just am suffering so hard. Big buck walks up to me so dark and just touches me. I walked up on an elephant seal from here to there, a male, during mating season. I'm like, oh God, no. Slowly tiptoeing backwards. But she protected me. She watched out over me. How did you survive leukemia? Life is bigger than who we are. You know, we're part of the ecology. Our DNA is, 99 point something % of the seals. You know, our answer, let's shoot the sea lions and seals to save the salmon. Congress passes. This is how ignorant and drunk on ignorance and proud of it these fools are. It's Mimi America. They don't even think about their longevity. Head south starting in 20. That's another coincidence. Fukushima, I predicted it all. It's going to put an energy into the freaking biosphere. You don't even know what it is. It's going to get into the pine trees. Pine trees hold new. I'm the first person to talk about it. I'm the first person that said you could physically see the blob, the black, the pseudo. You know, that's what we call it. What does pseudo mean? Pseudo nuts. That's what the bioluminescence moved in. That's pseudo means not natural, which happened in the Pacific Ocean. I'm the first guy who says you can physically see it, the blob, the black blob. You know, I'm out there screaming and yell about it. It's the photoplankton's gone, so the lowest form replaces it. The really nasty form of the algae, which is called pseudoknots. Pseudo, my uncle, it's Latin. It means not genuine, not authentic. Just like all these half-nukers and these professors. That's what they are. They're pseudo de facto. Pseudo de facto professors, pseudo de facto media, pseudo de facto YouTubers, pseudo de facto biologists, pseudo de facto zoologists. Where's your crown? They're going to get on the winning team. Where's your crown? Where's your crown? Where's your crown? Where's your crown? When you crown king fucking nothing. You know? Grandma? Come on, little Cindy Sue and Johnny. Grandma's going to read your bedtime story tonight. I'm getting a little old for bedtime stories, Grandma. Oh, come on, let's just visit. All right. Grandma, today at school, we learned that There was this guy, the most famous marine biologist probably in the history of the country, and the most famous PhD probably in the history of the world. You know, he's right there with Semmelweis. We learned about Semmelweis in germ theory, and he did the greatest PhD in the year while he's full of cancer on Fukushima. We learned about Fukushima today, and the historic cover-up of Fukushima and how it genocided, not extincted, genocided the Pacific Ocean. And it just, the fires, you know, the heat bubble, all predicted. This guy predicted it all. This guy, not only that he hypothesized the knowledge, he did 12 years of hard, got cancer, was sucked up and nearly dead. And he did all this work for all these years. And you know, Grandma, they hired teams of trolls to viciously attack him, which are felonies in all 50 states, and they just let people do it to him while he's doing this. And print media covered it up, Fukushima. University professors, university deans, high school science teachers, print media, social media, YouTubers, they, you know, everybody just went along with this cover-up and just viciously attacked this guy. Oh my God, that is horrible. He almost died. He was in critical condition for 12 years. He had open heart surgery twice. He used to sleep on a sleep bag. He'd be the keynote speaker at the hearings in San Diego. And then freaking, these guys are staying at $1,000 a night hotels. They work for the government, and they never offered him 5 cents. He would have to sleep on the beach in a sleeping bag. Oh my God, honey, that is so horrible. That is so terrible, honey. That is just terrible. Grandma, weren't you a university biologist, zoologist, dean at Caltech, at Cal Berkeley, at Stanford, at Weber State, at UCLA, at Oregon State, at University of Oregon, at University of Washington? Weren't you a history professor? He went, Grandma, to the Enola Gay hangar, and Sudoku, although that very own niece reached out to them and showed up and presented him with a paper crane while he's fighting leukemia, the atom bomb disease, in Utah, where he's native, 7th generation. And no Utah media showed up. International media, everybody just shunned him. And whenever the Army Corps engineers classified him, how is that possible, Grandma? Weren't you a newspaper producer? Weren't you a print media? Didn't you work for CBS, ABC, NBC? Didn't you work for Reuters? Didn't you work for BBC? Didn't you work for CNN? Didn't you work for Fox News? Why did you go along with that, Grandma? It's the greatest crime in use. President Obama went along with it. President Trump went along with it. President Biden went along with it, Grandma. All his administration executives went along. The heads of the EPA. Gina McCarthy, we learned, was head of RadNet, the radiation. Do you know they took that offline, Grandma, on that day that it happened and left it offline? Oh my God, honey, that's... I don't want you to read me a bedtime story, Grandma. I'm not even sure I want to talk to you again the rest of my life. Greatest crime in human history. The greatest PhD. What did I get for it? Rip me open. Pour me out. There's things inside that scream and shout. Kevin Blank's the greatest PhD in human history. The Great Pacific Genocide. They will wait. They will tell you exactly what I'm telling you 10, 12 years from now. I used to say the frogs have been boiled nicely. The nuclear energy. I'm in Northern California, and a fire chief tells me, we thought it was arson at first, but then we realized all these spontaneous fires are catching fire at the same time. This is a guy that's been a fire chief for decades. Never seen anything like it ever. Knows anybody else. I says, yeah, because it's never happened before. When the atmosphere is spontaneously catching fire because there's new energy, it's a gas, Kevin Blanche. I can't even talk about my hypothesis on the demic, where it come from. Oh, full blown out meltdowns pushing them. They don't cause mutation. They don't alter the DNA. They don't alter the bio. Oh, no. That Albert Einstein was full of shit. Oh, was he? That Kevin Blanche, oh, was he? It's all coincidence, bro. No, it's not. Coincidence doesn't get in science. What Kevin Blanchett does, that's science. I don't do opinion. First, you hypothesize, now they're full-blown out meltdowns. They're going to lie. They're going to circle the wagons. They're going to push this energy into the Pacific Ocean. It's going to cause a heat bubble over the western United States, just the greatest drought in 1,200 years. Last year, the heat bubble will shift. It did shift. You know, it's going to cause these plutonium fires. It's an energy unforeseen in the history of mankind. Never happened to Mayak, never happened in Chernobyl, never happened at 3 Mile Island. These are full-blown out meltdowns. We don't even know what this energy, Albert Einstein, if this genie ever gets out of the bottle, we have full-blown out meltdowns. It's going to release an energy into the ecology, into the environment, he said, that we won't even understand. It will change everything, every piece of biology, living creature on the face of the earth. What about, first he was asked about the animals and the humans. He said, wait a minute, humans are animals. And he says, well, we adapt. Yeah, in 50 generations. That Albert Einstein's full. So was Semmelweis. Remember Semmelweis' gene theory? Little visible germs flying through the air. Oh, that's blasphemy. Do you know Semmelweis was thrown into a rubber room and beat to death after he was a doctor? And he proved that doctors need to wash their hands. One of the, well, probably the greatest PhD in human history to have Lynch come around was Semmelweis. He was from Budapest, by the way. I remember being in Budapest talking to Fukushima. Huh. Yeah, boy. Well, wasn't Teller from there too? Wow, what a journey. What a story. Shadow ban me. Internet kettle me. Go ahead. Try to put my toothpaste back in the tube. Try to shove my lightning back in the bottle. I flipped that bottle behind my back and I shattered it with my axe. I knew what I was doing. The visual genre is thousands of times more powerful than the spoken word or the written genre. I knew that. I knew that. The intensity, the style that it is. Oh, they remember. Everybody remembers. Millions and millions and millions and millions of views. Millions. Penetrated into the psychic. You all act like you don't know as the cancer slowly grows. The great lie, 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 lie. Greatest crime in human history. Kevin Lynch, March 2011. They will tell you exactly what I'm telling you 10, 12 years later, after the nuclear energy Fukushima fallout frogs have been boiled nicely. As I said, in March of 2011, every day for 4,574 days. Stand tuned. Literally. The Great Pacific Genocide. What a journey. Stand tuned.